The subpoenas have been served. We have Kathy Griffin, who looks like she's going off the deep end, and Diddy is locked up. They won't let him out. He is stuck in prison. Lots to get into. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in, everybody in the club. How's everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. It's July 3rd. We're getting ready for an all new holiday weekend. Let's get it, get it, get it. Let's get it, get it, get it. Let's get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Okay. Hi, guys. What's up? Oh, so much going on. Lisa says, so Blake can blame Ryan for his company maximum effort for her backlash because he was the one doing the marketing for It Ends With Us. That's a really good, valid point. Ryan Reynolds, since he wanted to, you know, insert himself so much into the film, he went and had maximum effort, be the lead. I hear you. I hear ya. Okay. Okay. I was gonna do some reviews, but we got a not so nice review. This one's from X. It's hot. Says 2 stars. Shallow. There are so many other great pop culture podcasts that give better takes. If you want to listen to him gripe about a bad brow job or endure Maha advertisements, have at it. The content is not worth the filler. Well, if you listen to this show regularly, then you know. I always say, the filler ain't worth it. Don't get filler. There are other options. Botox, yes. Filler, no. Okay. I guess we can start with the Diddy stuff. So Diddy has a date to be sentenced in October. Dun dun dun. Okay. He's gonna be sentenced come October. And unfortunately, it's not looking good for people that I guess want like justice for Diddy or justice for Cassie. He's only facing so technically there are two counts of the transportation charges that he's facing, and each of them holds a maximum sentence of 10 years each. Now, so people are like, oh my God, Diddy's facing up to 20 years in prison. Well, that's not entirely true. Because the government is only asking for 4 to 5 years in prison for Diddy. So, even though there is a maximum of 10 per count, and there are 2 counts, so that 10 plus 10 equals a 20 maximum, but very rarely do people get the maximum. So you have to be really, really bad. And the charge has to be really, really extreme. I would understand if he were like Heidi Fleiss, right? And he was, pumping the hose out left and right from this state to that state to this state and was, having them cross all around, then fine, that's a more severe case, specifically for the transportation charges, right? Now, I've always said that the transportation charges were the weakest of all of the charges against him. We had the trafficking, we had the RICO, we had all the things, right? Unfortunately, he was only slapped with the transportation charges, which people are like, well, that's better than nothing. Well, the government's only asking for him to get 4 to 5 years, which, okay, it's something. Is it likely that he'll even serve that? Probably not. He's trying to expedite his sentencing because he was requesting bail and he was not allowed bail, which is also kind of strange because if they proved that he didn't commit the RICO, racketeering, trafficking, all the other charges against him, if they found that he was not guilty for any of that, then why does he need to await sentencing until October? That's when his sentence. Personally, I think Diddy's a freaky dude. I don't care for the dude. I don't think he's a great guy. I think he's absolutely influential in a very negative way. I think he's done a number of unsavory things. However, if we're going strictly based off of this trial, what he was found guilty for and not guilty for, it was a bad case all around. I know people don't like that. And they're like, how dare you defend Diddy? I'm not defending Diddy. I have no desire to defend Diddy. However, prosecution had a bad case. They didn't do a good job of selling it to the jury. I also said that I think yesterday I said that Diddy was charismatic and won over the jurors, and somebody got mad at me in the comments, like, "How dare you say Diddy was charismatic?" And I was like, "Listen, I'm not personally being like, "Oh my god, I love Diddy." No, the jurors clearly fell for his charm, right? People that were in the courtroom have relayed information saying the jurors were clearly enamored by Diddy. Like he like smiled, he was like he would thank the judge for doing a good job. Like he knew how to charm people. And I think that was part of, what he did for his, alleged coercion. I think he just knew how to charm people or threaten them in different ways. I don't know. I wasn't part of the Diddy ring. I wasn't at the freak offs. I didn't go to the white parties. But I mean, as of where we're at right now, it looks like he's going to be planning his next white party soon. So that's where we're at. Zach, when are you going to law school? I've thought, well, actually, in California, you don't need to go to law school. You can do it the Kim Kardashian way. And I think if you do an apprenticeship for 4 years and you pass the bar, you can become an attorney. So you just have to like work in the field and study and pass the bar, and you're good. So, yeah, I think I'll do the Kim Kardashian route rather than the Elle Woods route of going to Harvard. I don't know. All just hypotheticals. But yeah, so Diddy is probably not going to get 4 to 5. I mean, maybe at best he gets 2 years. He'll get time served, I'm sure, because he's already been locked up all this time already. I have a strong gut feeling that he's maybe, if anything, going to do some months rather than years. I would predict he doesn't even stay behind bars for another 2 years. I think he, like somebody mentioned in the live chat, he is trying to expedite his hearing for his sentencing. So that way it comes sooner rather than in October. Because at this point, there's no real need to keep him behind bars until October, right? Unless there really is, I know there are conspiracies that like maybe he's working with the feds, maybe there's more to this, yada yada yada. Maybe, possibly. Um, and if that were the case, then they may want to just keep him locked up until they have their case with him solidified. If he's turning on anybody else or giving some sort of information, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Copper says, but calling himself Puff Daddy should have been the first red flag. Yeah, you said work in the field, and I did a double take. Racist. Lisa said, I wonder if celebrities will be seen with him anymore. I wonder if he'll out any other celebrities. I mean, that's kind of the prediction, is that this was like a fixed case so that the government could look like they were trying to get him and still got him in some way with the slap on the wrist, but that he's secretly working with them, trying to turn on other people. Um, Sorry, I had like a hair on my nose, dog hair. Yeah. So we'll see. MG says he beat Cassie, threatened her with the release of her videos. Ah, where did the yeah, he was denied bail. I lost your comment. I saw the comment and I was reading it, and then I appeared to hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, he beat Cassie, threatened to release her videos, fed her substances, used employees to keep her in line. How is he not guilty? Well, a few things. And again, the prosecution knew this going into it, which is why I was just like, how did we fumble the ball this hard? The DV towards Cassie, statute of limitations does not apply, right? So that's the unfortunate piece, is that that's done. I believe it was a statute of limitations issue with Cassie. That's why she tried to sue him civilly a few years ago. I think it was 2023. So they didn't pursue DV charges against Diddy, which that was a very clear. We had video footage. Cassie's testimony would have been there. Employees that saw the videotape could have testified. Like that was a very easy. There was footage of him doing it, like literally footage of him assaulting Cassie. Easy case, right? Again, that was not part of the charges in court, though. So you can't hold that, you can't hold that with any weight if it's not applicable to be submitted as evidence, or if the charges aren't to that. I mean, I'm pretty sure if the jury was asked, did he, DV Cassie, that would be an easy guilty, right? Threatened to release videos. That's bribery, and I believe maybe a form of extortion. Um, but that was just one. So the thing is, rather than charging him with extortion, they charged him with racketeering or conspiracy to commit racketeering, which is encompassing of all of those different things. Think of racketeering as like the umbrella term, and then you have like bribery, intimidation, coercion, like all these things that you need to do to prove that you were racketeering, right? Unfortunately, they had maybe one or two of those things that they were kind of able to prove, but they didn't have a solid enough case to prove racketeering. So if he was being charged strictly with like extortion, I think they could have very easily gotten him on that. But what it is they wanted to shoot so big with this racketeering scheme that they believed that he was participating in. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And then when it comes to substances, unfortunately, the defense presented text messages that show that Diddy was, even though substances were provided, Cassie was imbibing on them on her own free will. And it appears based off of how it was presented in court that she was taking them so that she wasn't fully present. It was like her form of escape, right? It was her form of detaching from whatever was going on. It seemed like she enjoyed it for some time, but then when she stopped enjoying it, she relied on substances to kind of numb her in the process of it. And she was kind of just obliging with, what Diddy wanted. So that's, and again, if there were possession charges, and this is why I always said DV, possession, like all these charges that they could have gotten him on, but instead they chose the umbrella charge of racketeering and unfortunately just weren't able to prove their case. So it doesn't appear that she imbibed in substances um, forcefully. It appears she imbibed in them on her own free will. And we even saw text messages where she refers to one freak off that she doesn't remember. And Diddy's like, well, that's no fun. If you don't remember it, then it's not a real freak off. Like, freak offs are only good when you remember them. And he's like, we need to do it again when you're aware and coherent and like participating in it. Like, like fully aware of what's going on. And then she's like, okay. And he's like, you name the time and the place. You tell me when you want to do the next freak off, and it's on. So it really seemed like, based off of the messages that we saw, he was giving a lot of power to Cassie, and she was coming back for more. And again, that's not to say I don't believe Cassie. That's not to say I don't have great empathy for Cassie. That's not to say I don't think that there was a point where she was tired of it and then started to oblige and just continued on with it. I think that they were in a really weird toxic cycle. She could have very likely been under Stockholm syndrome. Like, I think a lot of that factors into this. But unfortunately, the case that they went after and the case that they presented in court to the jury just wasn't a strong one. That's the unfortunate piece. And that's why I said from the beginning, as I was getting all of these things coming out, as I was seeing all these things come out, it was just like, damn, like I was like, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. And here we are. Didn't look good. Melissa says, we don't support Justin Baldoni blindly. We want the truth to be revealed. Blake Lively wants to believe her with no evidence at all. I don't think that's fair. I agree. I'm right there with you, right? It's funny. I was talking with Donna about this yesterday. Is there anything we want to wrap up with Diddy before we move into the Baldoni stuff? Um, duh, 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 duh. I think, yeah, the whole RICO thing was confusing, and the jury saw saw a loophole. Yeah, it was confusing. I think proving RICO to a jury is challenging, and the prosecution either willingly kind of fumbled the ball or didn't prepare enough, or I don't understand how I don't get how it was fumbled this bad. Yeah, see, August says the ball was deliberately fumbled. They got all the footage if anyone important out of his house. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like they have the footage. They have everybody on tape. They know all of the names. They know all of the players. That's the part that's so crazy to me. How they fumbled the ball this bad. Lisa says the government should have gotten their bleep together with this case. Again, was it willful or was it just blatant arrogance? Was it, I don't know. I really don't know. Lizzie said they overcharged him with Rico. Yeah, Rico is like the mob, right? Think of it like that. Think of like Scarface. You have your hitmen, bodies end up in the back of a trunk somewhere. Like, you're paying off government officials. Like, that's racketeering. Diddy really just seemed like a thug, right? He was a freaky dude. He was a rapper in the industry. He was into some kinky boots, and like it just, I, I wish there was more that we could give to it, but unfortunately, And then there's even, like, what we know and then what was presented in court. Government did do a good job. Russ says that he groomed Cassie. Very possible. Very possible. We don't know the inner workings of the relationship, but that's absolutely what it appears to have been. I don't know. It's kind of torn though because it's like, well, at some point you want to trust that a grown woman has autonomy over her body and the choices that she makes, and like she should feel empowered to make her decisions, and like was she naive enough to be like, and then it's like, well, but then at the same time, like, if somebody's really powerful and intimidating and they have money and they're like, you know, threatening you, then like, yeah, that's a really hard situation to get out of. It's tough. It's tough. Do you know the racial implications of the Mann Act? What is the Mann Act? The Mann Act, previously called the White Slave Traffic Act, is the United States federal law passed in June 1910. It's named after Congressman James Robert Mann of Illinois. The Mann Act is a United States federal law that prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for prostitution or debauchery or for any other immoral purpose. It was enacted in 1910 during a period of social anxiety and white slavery and aimed to combat trafficking. The law has been amended over time and now focuses on interstate transportation with the intent to engage in prostitution or other criminal sexual activity. The broad interpretation, the original wording, particularly the immoral purpose clause, was interpreted broadly by courts, leading to its application in various forms of consensual sexual activity, including premarital, extramarital, and interracial relationships. Okay. Historical context. The law emerged during a time of significant social change, including the urbanization and immigration, which fueled anxieties about the perceived breakdown of traditional morality. The most notable example of the Mann Act's broad interpretation is the case of boxer Jack Johnson, who was convicted under the act for transporting a white woman across state lines despite it being a consensual relationship. The Mann Act has been amended to remove the vague immoral purpose language and now focuses on interstate transportation for prostitution and other criminal sexual activities. It's now primarily used to combat trafficking and related offenses. The most recent case, the Mann Act, has recently been in the news uh, due to the conviction of Diddy on charges related to transporting individuals for prostitution. Yeah. Again, in my understanding, I didn't follow the case closely, so forgive me if I fumble some of the details. But my understanding from what I remember following this Diddy trial is it was a male escort that Diddy seemed to favor, and he was having him fly to other locations so that he could do things with Cassie. So it's technically illegal, yes, but the challenging part with that is it's like, again, this is why I always thought these were the weaker charges. The challenging part with that is it wasn't like he was trying to prostitute. He wasn't a pimp, right? Well, I guess the traditional term, right? He didn't have like a ring of escorts that he was putting out there and dealing to other people. He was one dude who had a fetish and liked to watch his girlfriend hook up with other people. Specifically, this one escort that he seemed to have some sort of favorability over. Um, so yeah, you know. Diddy supporters were spraying themselves with baby oil yesterday. It was, yeah, they were out there just like spraying Johnson and Johnson baby oil, which is so gross. Like Johnson and Johnson baby oil should not be associated with this. They need to do something. There were several escorts that he flew on multiple occasions. Yeah, Cassie and Jane. Yeah, yes, I believe. But there was one in particular, one male escort that I think he worked with more regularly. And I think because he was the one that I believe testified during the trial or had some sort of statement that was presented in court. But yes, there were multiple. Um, yeah, there are just so many layers to it, and I just wish the government had done a better job of, you know, putting the case together and explaining it in a way that like made it seem more criminal, because again, you need to be able to prove these things beyond a reasonable doubt, and unfortunately there are a lot of reasonable doubts that you can cast in a lot of this. um Queen says, I feel you can make the argument of grooming because of the predatory nature of the contract she signed with him. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, I'm not ruling that off the table at all. I'm just, looking at it from all angles. The Mann Act is the charges he got convicted of. Correct. It's the transportation. Yes. Fear in the jury and wanting to go home didn't help. Was there fear in the jury? Did they wanna go home, Tammy? Like, are these theories you're just kind of, like, spitballing, or do we the jury, from my understanding from people that were in the courtroom, it was the opposite. It wasn't that the jury was afraid of him, it was that the jury seemingly came to like him and didn't think that he was this criminal, you know, evil person that the prosecution was trying to paint him out to be. Like, it's and I think the prosecution even knew that they were losing the jury because they were becoming in some way, like, enamored with Diddy, and um that's why they, I think, adjusted their charges at the very end. Yeah, at least says the government didn't do a good enough job in their case against it. Yeah, you know? Josh says, "I'm okay not knowing what Diddy did with his nips." Yeah, me too. Brigitte says, "I still maintain that the sole focus on his activities is what failed the RICO charges. He did set his activities as a business and even made it somewhat of a prerequisite of having any sort of employment." Yeah. Oh, got it. Sorry, Brigitte, you're right. They focus too much on his bedroom antics rather than the actual criminal enterprise that he was running. The Mann Act is why he didn't get released. Got it. That makes sense now because I'm like, wait, yeah, we know that that's what got. Got it. That's why he's still held in custody until his sentencing. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. But let's move on to Blake Lively and the subpoenas that have been served. So Candace Owens and Andy Signor have confirmed that they have received their subpoenas from Team Lively. I chatted briefly with Andy, watched Candace's show, and yeah, FYI, Andy's going to be on stage with me with Lethal Lauren of the Court of Random Opinion. They're both going to be on stage with me in Phoenix on July 13th. So come on down, get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. We're doing shows in Dallas, Phoenix, Seattle, Los Angeles, Philly, Chicago, New York City. So come on down. Let's get it. Okay? Get it, get it, get it. Get it, get it. Subpoena me next t-shirts. Right. Which Candace Owens. Let me see if she's I believe she published the subpoena on her website. Harvey, Shot in the Dark, Becoming Brigitte, Book Club, Shorts, Join the Truth Unfiltered, Candace Book Club. Okay, but where did she said she was gonna make um oh my god, I didn't realize she Wait, did Candace steal this from me? I started this joke. Her website has a picture of Brigitte Macron of ET beating up Macron. Wait a minute. That was my joke. I was the one that started the ET comparisons with Brigitte Macron. Or is this not ET? Is this just No, this is very clearly ET in the Yes, I made that joke. I have not seen anybody else make that joke or that reference. That was absolutely something that I started. I was hoping Friedman was gonna have an exploding revelation, yeah. Okay, right? Like, we have not seen the ET joke anywhere else. I posted it all over social media. It went viral on social media. That's crazy. I don't like that. I know people have accused Candace of doing this stuff in the past, of being like, "Ooh, that's funny," or "I like that. Let me just steal it." I mean, listen, it's a very low-hanging fruit joke. I'm not gonna cry about it, but I'm just like, "Wait a minute. I was the one." Yeah, it went by. Everybody was talking about it. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay. But I wanna see if news, maybe? I wanna Where's the subpoena? She published the Macron one. Macron's latest letter to Candace. Okay, so this is literally something new that she just posted. So the ET reference is something very new. Letter from Macron. Okay, so she published the Macron one, but she did not publish the law firm representing President Macron has sent us another letter. The letter has been released in its entirety. Here, names and contact details of my attorney have been redacted. Got it. Okay, so this is what is this letter though? Is it a cease and desist? Dear Noah, an update on your prior correspondence sent on behalf of the president have denied that Miss Owens and the entities that she controls retract her false statements and defamatory statements about our client in the Becoming Brigitte series and accompanying expos, including those listed as stated in December and February letters. Miss Macron has always been a woman. She is not. Got it. This is not a full statement. Okay, I don't care what this is actually. Um. Anyway, and now I'm kind of peeved about that. People have accused Candace of stealing stuff in the past, but I mean, again, it's low hanging fruit. It's a cheap joke. It's not that deep at the end of the day. But like, I did start that. Oh, the Blake subpoena is behind her paywall. Okay, well, I'm not doing the paywall. The paywall. Anyway, she claims that Blake Lively is asking for all correspondence with the Wayfair parties up until current day, right? So Blake Lively, I mean, seems to be on some sort of fishing expedition. I don't believe Perez Hilton has confirmed that he has been served, but ET is supposed to be Brigitte Macron. I don't believe that the what was I saying? Sorry, I got a text message and it distracted me. But yes, I don't believe Perez has confirmed or denied whether I know he initially denied it, and I as of today, I'm not sure what the current status of Perez's subpoena is. It may have been delivered. I think Andy's was like delivered to a different address. But the thing is, TMZ published the story on what, Tuesday? No. Yes, Tuesday, but the subpoenas weren't served until Wednesday. Perez has not gotten his subpoena yet. Got it. So yeah, not gotten it yet. So only Andy and Candace Owens so far have been served. It's interesting that Kirsty Flaw has not been subpoenaed, considering I've always said she's the ember that burned down the Palisades. Like she is the one that kind of tipped off this entire campaign from the internet. Yeah, yeah, I just said that. Popcorn Andy from Popcorn Planet confirmed it. They requested all emails up to et cetera. I believe from May 2024 all the way up until now, because Blake is trying to say that the smear campaign is still actively going on, which is total bullshit. It's not true. It is not true. Not true. Not true. Um, CPJ says, "Come on, Zach, you need to up your game to get the golden subpoena." She has no reason to there's nothing to subpoena me for. I've made it very clear I am not in conversation. I've said it explicitly. There would be no need for her to subpoena me. It would make absolutely zero sense if she tried to subpoena me. She would look like a fucking loser. Um, so yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. That said, we'll see what happens with subpoena gate. It doesn't make it. The Candace, I think, said that she's going to provide information up until the date that Blake filed her lawsuit, because that was the allegation that there was a smear campaign before. You can't just also say, well, we think that there's a smear campaign now. Now there's a smear campaign. And so actually, to everybody's points about me potentially being subpoenaed, I guess, because I know Donna and Andy, like, people are, like, picking apart things that they've said on their show. So I just figured that way I don't get subpoenaed. I just want to release this information willingly, because I have corresponded with Wayfair parties in the past, specifically like Jennifer Abel, right? I have a podcast and I've interviewed clients of Jennifer Abel's in the past. But there is some evidence and information that I feel like is probably just best that I put it out now. And I feel like it's better to just be like, here it is, internet. You don't need to subpoena me. You don't need to come for me, because at this point, I'm owning it. I'm giving you the full true Hollywood scoop, full true Hollywood story, under penalty of perjury. Here is a bit of evidence that I think Lively may think is helpful to her case, but I don't know. You guys determine how you feel about it. Here it is. A photo of me, Andy Signor, Donna Bowling, and Justin Baldoni. Dun, dun, dun. The truth has been revealed. Justin Baldoni is in collusion with content creators. For those of you that are listening to this on Apple, you should be watching it on YouTube or on Spotify. We have video on Apple, or sorry, we have video on Spotify and video on YouTube because Apple just hasn't gotten with the program yet. But if you're listening to this on Apple or any other podcast platform, then the photo that I have just revealed on the screen is a very obviously photoshopped picture. Actually, no, haters will say it's photoshopped, but it's a photo of Justin Baldoni hugging three people, and Andy Signor, my face, and Donna Bowling's faces are all cropped onto the three bodies of the people that Justin Baldoni is hugging. This is a photo from his Instagram account. But I just want to let you know, I carry information. And we, Andy, Donna, and I are not the only three that have been in collusion with Justin Baldoni. I would like to reveal Exhibit B. Ellsrich in the ocean, canoodling with Justin Baldoni. Fafo and Associates has been caught red-handed. Dun, dun, dun. This is Exhibit B, guys. But wait, there's more. Why am I not smiling? Because I'm trying to give my sexy eyes, my never with teeth eyes. You know? Wait, so the smear campaign is real? I hate to admit it, guys. There are elements of the smear campaign that are real, that are very, very real. Look at this. Boom. Justin Baldoni out to coffee with Lethal Lauren. Dun, dun, dun. Haters will say these photos are photoshopped. But look at the evidence is clear as day. These photos are as real as Blake Lively's allegations. They're posted on Instagram, so if you are listening to it on any podcasts, you can go on the No Filter with Zack Instagram account, and you can see all of these photos there for yourself. But here it is, the proof, receipts, proof, timeline, evidence that the content creators are in collusion. I believe this photo right here shows Justin Baldoni and Lethal Lauren. They have their laptops out. It appears they are plotting. They must be on a phone call with Jed Wallace. They're actively smearing. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Elena says, Zach, I love it. You're really working overtime to get the subpoena. No, I'm trying to not get my subpoena. That's why I'm willingly offering up this evidence so that Blake Lively can use it now in court. Here you go. The photos don't lie. A photo tells 1,000 words. Oh, man, guys. Their laptop smearing. Yep. She will send it to the court. You know, listen, wouldn't that be funny if Blake really does send it to the courts? Never with teeth or receipts, right? Boom. Zach, see you on CBS. Sean Diddy. See, I was on Sean Diddy Combs The Verdict on CBS. Say what? When they do these things, they don't always tell me. Send me a photo or a clip if you see it. What was I doing? What was I saying? Was it a TikTok? Creeby says, the subpoena is the golden ticket to the front seat in court. Not really, because if you get subpoenaed, you aren't necessarily going to be dragged into court. Nicole says, no Photoshop here. It's so weird to me that my name and y'all aren't talking to me. Jen? Your name is Jen. I would die if Blake shows these photos in court. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. She's trying to grasp at everything. These pictures with Justin Baldoni are everything. My favorite is the one with Elsie. Oh, a TikTok or an Instagram story. Ooh. Hello, Zach. Doser. Zach Snack. Oh, well, there you go, guys. I had to come clean and tell you the truth. I had to. It would be the only evidence that she has. I mean, she's fishing, but Candace Owens had a really good theory by saying that she thinks that Blake is asking for all of this correspondence, knowing that I say that as collectively as content creators, can and only will give up information to a certain extent, right? There are certain press privileges that protect content creators, number one. And number two, so like we can, the same caveat, the same way that the New York Times was able to wiggle their way out of this content creators and podcasters specifically can also wiggle their way out of this. Remember when Heather McDonald was sued for her live podcast taping, and then it was determined that podcasts are a form of media, therefore she has press protections, press privileges. So Juicy Scoop was protected in that lawsuit. That said, we have those same protections. I don't think there's anything nefarious about Andy getting an official statement. Let's talk about this, okay? But so well, actually, to wrap up the Candace piece, so she says that she believes that Blake intentionally issued this broad subpoena, knowing that the content creators would limit the scope of it. As Candace said, she's only going to turn over documents up until the date of Blake's filing of her lawsuit to prove that there was no smear campaign beforehand. But Blake's trying to say, well, there's an active smear campaign now. But it's like, you can't amend your lawsuit to be like, well, now it's an active smear campaign. But so anyway, I did see that there were there were a lot of people that were like putting out information specifically about Andy from Popcorn Planet and about how, the reason he got subpoenaed is because he claims he got an exclusive from Baldoni's team or from Brian Friedman. Because remember, he had the statement from Friedman right after they chose to not file an amended complaint. And so I saw a video on TikTok. Who was the dude that did it? So I can at least shout him out. And I was even wondering if I should what was his name? Chris something. I wasn't familiar with his content, but I guess he's covered this stuff quite a bit. And so I posted on TikTok his name is Chris. Oh, he only has 1,100 TikTok followers. He's 15 years of PR and communications expert. He's a reputation fixer, breaking down PR wins and fails. I mean, if he's a PR expert, you'd think he would have a better social media following. Anyway, I haven't seen his content prior, so I don't want to shade him too much. I just always find it interesting when people are like, I'm a marketing expert, I'm a PR expert, and then I see some of their work, and I'm like, I get it. Your job is to do stuff for your clients, but don't you think you're the best representation? That's like having a gym instructor that's like fat and out of shape, you know? Like, why would you hire a trainer that doesn't look like what you want to aspire to look like? I don't know. But anyway, yes, guys, if you're watching this right now, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. That way, you always get a notification when we're live. And like I said, Lauren and Andy are both going to be on stage with me in Phoenix on July 13th. So you can get your tickets to come hang out with us, see us. We'll be talking more about Subpoena Gate and all that yummy goodness on stage in Phoenix, Arizona, July 13th. Also going to be in Dallas, Chicago, Philly, Los Angeles, New York, and Seattle. So come on down. Donna Bowling's coming out. Chef Stu's coming out. The Sidley twins are coming out. Colonel Kurtz is coming out. Lots of fun guests. Jenny McCarthy, Leanne Locken, Chloe Veach. Lots of goodies. Lots of baddies. The Tilted Lawyer and Leanne had a good conversation about this yesterday. I was talking to Lauren about that, and she said she was going to talk to the Tilted Lawyer about it. So yay, Ash is coming to Phoenix. Oh, but yeah, use code Andy, Andy, and you'll get 25% off tickets to the Phoenix show. Just because we want to shout out Andy and give him some love in the club. Is Andy's doc out yet? No, it comes out in August, and he's giving us an exclusive sneak peek at the show on July 13th. So come on out in Phoenix. Get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. Yeah, so people are like really bothered about Andy and him getting this like exclusive information, but like I want to explain to you, thinking you would think that this PR guy would know that like the term exclusive is like an overused term just in general. This is no shade to Andy. Some people may call it clickbait, but like a lot of times YouTubers, creators, press, I mean TMZ, when they issued that subpoena story, that was an exclusive. Every time there's a new piece of interesting information, it's exclusive, right? Anything exclusive just means that it was given to you directly or you got information directly. That doesn't mean that other people didn't get information. And I see the media often using exclusive as if they got something that was, special that other publications did not get, when in reality, they're really just issuing an exclusive statement that they got that was given out to every other press outlet. So when it comes to Andy specifically, Yeah, I think some of us thought that it was kind of strange considering a lot of content creators have reached out to Friedman's team asking for comment. That's not nefarious. That's not collusion. That's not working together. That's not correspondence to flood a smear campaign. I believe it's a bit of a stretch to make those allegations, but Andy got a statement that the press got. TMZ ran with that statement. People Magazine ran with that statement. They use the terms exclusive all the time, right? Andy was, yes, the first to publish it. He published it on his YouTube, and the other press outlets, I don't know why it took them so long. I mean, it could have just been that it wasn't a press release, but that it was people reaching out and inquiring. And this was the standard statement that was given out for everybody that came and asked. And so it's possible that Andy was just the first to ask. Why would he be the first to ask? Because we're content creators are covering this case so closely. We're covering it more than many other news outlets because many other news outlets, like, you have different channels of communication that you have to go through and stories and editors have to approve like, there's just so many other layers to it that content creators have become so much quicker because we're quicker to publish. And so that does become a point um of challenge, right, with competition. I think that's why TMZ published the subpoena story, and Candace and Andy said that they were only given a few minutes to respond before the story was published and made live. I think that that was intentional because TMZ knew the second that they reached out to Candace and Andy, they would likely and Perez, they would likely go and create content which would scoop the story from them. That's why they only gave them a few minutes to respond. They're like, "Hey, we're doing this now. What is your response?" And whereas, like, Baldoni with the New York Times, they had what, an overnight window of 10 hours, 12 hours that they were given. So it's not nefarious, it's not collusion, it's not proof of anybody getting a press statement is nothing unique, right? If you have a publication, Andy has what, almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, I think, it's fair that he would now be considered press. I know it's hard for people to kind of comprehend and digest that, like, new media is becoming forefront media. That's where people are getting their news from X and YouTube and TikTok rather than CNN, MSNBC, E News, like, all of those places just aren't the forefront of news the way that they used to be, which is why they're now jumping onto the social media train. Right? There's a reason they're pivoting into that because we have an advantage and we get to publish a lot quicker. So Andy being the first to publish, I don't think is all that suspicious because he could have just been the first to ask. I don't think Friedman sent out a press release. I don't think Friedman wanted to send out a press release considering it wasn't really anything that he wanted to be press worthy. He was probably hoping it kind of flew under the radar considering he was just on Megyn Kelly's show and said, "We're absolutely filing an amended complaint." And then they just didn't. So, yeah, it's just, and we have the same press privileges as the big media outlets do. We're considered a form of press, and social media now drives the news cycle, you know? Let's be very clear. The statement, word for word, that TMZ and people and everybody ran was the exact same quote that Andy ran on his YouTube channel. There was nothing unique that Andy got that the others didn't. And it's just likely that he asked first, published immediately, and that was that. And then once it gained traction, that's probably when other publications were like, "Oh shit, what? There was a deadline for Baldoni to file. He didn't file. Like, maybe now we should ask Friedman's office for a statement." And then a statement was issued. And it was the same exact standard statement, right? Like I said, multiple creators, I feel like at this point have come out and said that they've reached out for comment. That's not collusion. That's not proof of a smear campaign. But then this guy also talks about, like, SEO manipulation and how that's a false narrative that people are putting out on the internet. And I was like, I disagree. When it comes to, maybe, I don't know if search engine optimization, I know it's kind of a term that people are using interchangeably. Maybe it's more of like algorithm hacking. Maybe that's a better way to position it. I still think that there is a form of SEO manipulation that Lively's team is doing because regardless if it's in a search engine or if it's on social media and hacking an algorithm there, it has the same effect nonetheless. And the effect, trickles over. So I know this guy has 15 years experience in PR, but I'm assuming that's more traditional PR rather than new media and strategy when it comes to new media and social media. Because I would take, if he, was really good at that, he would probably have a few more TikTok followers. Um, but it comes down to key terms, right? Key terms in searchable places. That's um, key terms in searchable places, or at least places of, like, places that you access content, which can be a search engine, can be TikTok, can be YouTube. YouTube and TikTok, but TikTok I feel like are better about searching. But so you flood the algorithm with more favorable content around a certain key term that you're trying to hack. And we've seen Blake do this before. So yes, this also does still apply to SEO, especially when it comes to Blake Lively giving her exclusives to media outlets. A search engine like Google, well, it'll still show you both like news articles and social media posts because they're getting better about showing TikTok videos and YouTube videos. It will favor the news articles because it prioritizes them as um, a place with more credibility, right? They're going to put more credibility in a press article rather than a TikTok video because there's a lot more vetting that goes into these press outlets, or at least we're supposed to take them a bit more seriously than we were about YouTube or TikTok. And to be fair, YouTube and TikTok are a bit unregulated, but regardless, the effect is still the same. You're hacking an algorithm to control a narrative around specific key terms, such as influencer names. That's why it was really smart of her to use Perez's name and Candace's name and Andy's name. Actually, I think instead of Andy's name, they should have leaned more into Popcorn Planet. I think that would have been a more searchable term because it's a more popular brand on social media. Um, but yeah, using influencer names or certain notable people's names and certain specific keywords like subpoena, that floods the algorithm so that when people are searching Blake Lively subpoena, the Van Zandt subpoena content is not coming up because all of this content creator subpoena content will come up. And because the press is running with it, those are the articles that SEO, that Google, and I don't know what else is around, Bing, Yahoo. Where do people Google things anymore or search things anymore? Those articles are going to get flooded to the top. That's just how they prioritize that sort of content. Or Yummy. Yummy was a great example. Remember when Blake Lively wrote those yummy text messages to Justin Baldoni, and there was conversation around the yummy text messages, and then suddenly we have the Michelle Trachtenberg tribute where she talks about her yummy lip gloss. It's like these things aren't. It was just strange that this 15-year PR expert didn't understand how hacking an algorithm works. They're trying to hack. They're trying to bury certain content and have other content flood the algorithm. Sophie said, "I just decided to Google search Blake Lively Yummy, and the first thing that pops up are Justin's text messages and then conspiracies on how she's using the words to change the narrative." Yeah, because listen, there's power in controlling the narrative by continuing to put out more and more content. Why do you think I reference that so often? Because there's power in driving that on. That's why it's important to keep talking about the Van Zandt lawsuit. Enrique says, in order to smear someone, you have to say things that are not true. All those videos circulating are true. It's a fact, and then people come to their own conclusions. That's not smearing, or it's at least believed to be true at the time of the presentation of the content, right? The next yummy article is the Michelle Trachtenberg memoir. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that just goes to show you that I mean, I haven't stopped talking about the yummy text messages. Blake Lively's yummy text messages to Justin Baldoni. I'll keep saying it so that it'll keep getting picked up in all the things. That Christopher guy is a hack. He was attacking Depp supporters and saying Amber was being smeared. Okay, come on. If that's the side that he's on, again, you're a 15-year PR expert and you can't even get a few more TikTok followers. Please, please. Sounds like you don't know how to hack current modern day PR, because current modern day PR is not getting an exclusive in Time Magazine. It's gaining popularity on social media and on the platforms that are actually going to be important. So, yeah, keep talking about Van Jam. The Spice Girl stuff. I saw the Spice Girl stuff. I don't know. That was a bit of a stretch for me. Caddy says, Zach, I would love for you to bring on Ashley Bree. I'm not familiar with Ashley Bree. You guys have to send me her content. Sophie says they're so yummy you cannot remember them. How can you not remember them? Yeah, exactly. Zach, you definitely have stopped saying yummy and you are keeping it. Oh, you definitely haven't stopped saying yummy and you're keeping it alive. Yeah, well, now I've become an adopter of yummy. Munchie says, every time I see yummy, I feel sorry for them. Kim says, good luck, Blake. When I want to find something, I don't care what she does. I'm finding it. Yeah. Okay. That said, we need to talk about this because this is kind of funny and scary at the same time. Kathy Griffin has been spotted out and about. Sorry if that's a jump scare for some of you guys, but she was out and about rocking her merch. She has some Kathy Griffin merch, a t-shirt that she's wearing here. This is a photograph from Tuesday. Some photographs came out in Page Six and I believe the New York Post of Kathy Griffin. This is in Malibu by her house. And she was out and about walking, getting her steps in. And people are like, what in the coconut tree? Kathy Griffin looks like she just fell out of a coconut tree. It's so wild. These photos of her look so bad. Like, this is Joan Rivers' revenge, right? Because remember how Joan Rivers, after she passed away, Kathy Griffin was set to take over Fashion Police, and then Kathy, like, bombed Fashion Police and then trashed it afterwards. This is Joan Rivers coming back to get her. Who took her straight jacket off. Is that Carrot? She looks like Carrot Top, right? She looks like Carrot Top. But I think Carrot Top even looks better these days. Carrot Top, let's see. I feel like he's had a glow up, hasn't he? Or he at least looks a little. Oh no, he still looks terrible. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I lied. Wow, he looks rough. Um, what happened to Carrot Top? Oh my. Well, I guess he was never really pretty, right? Okay, never mind. I won't scare you with those photos. Oh my god, I thought it was Chucky. Yeah, everyone was saying Chucky. This is Joan Rivers' revenge. People are saying that this is her TDS in full effect. That's just eating her alive. Who's had more work done, Kathy or Carrot Top? I don't think Kathy has had work done. If you really kind of like zoom into this, this is a perfect advertisement for Blake Lively's Blake Brown hair care. This here you go. Buy your Blake Brown hair care. Get your shampoo, no conditioner. I don't think she's had work done. A ton of work. I mean, she's had like a nose job. It looks like maybe there's some Botox in here. It doesn't appear that she has any filler. Her forehead definitely looks Botoxed. Um, but like her skin is just really bad. And her hairline, how did her hairline end up in the back of her scalp? I think it's always shitty to like talk about a woman's looks, but I'm just like, whoa, what happened? A cat like this is like, whoa, wild. She looks like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. It's kind of crazy. She has botched plastic surgery. No, I don't think this is plastic surgery. I think the most she has here is Botox. I mean, and she's had a few nose jobs, but I don't think that's check her early 2000. No, I think she just looks old and rough. Shubang says she has cancer. This isn't because she has cancer. This is because she's not taking care of. She had a facelift. Did she have a facelift? Did Kathy Griffin get a face? Is that true? Kathy Griffin revealed she got another facelift more than 2 decades after she first tweaked her appearance. Oh, wow. This was published 7 days ago. Wow. Controversial US comic looks unrecognizable with no face with no makeup as she steps out after facelift. Oh, so she just had a facelift here. Was this like a paparazzi plant? Was she like, "Ooh, I just got a facelift. I'm looking sexy. I'm looking hot. I'm looking yummy. Call the paparazzi and let them catch me in my natural glow." And then they caught her in her natural glow and it was blinding. Oh, man. The no-nonsense star, 64, recently had a second facelift and looked unrecognizable as she was pictured out and about in Los Angeles. This is according to The Sun. Going makeup-free for the stroll in the sun, the media personality's trademark signature hair was blown back, and she was missing her usual fringe. Blown back is one way to put it. It looks like she was blown up. Something of a queen when it comes to self-promotion, Kathy Griffin helped those out who might have struggled to place her by wearing a t-shirt emblazed with her own name. Oh, in case anybody didn't recognize her. She wore her bag across her world tour slogan t-shirt and she finished her look with jogging bottoms and sneakers. The low-key outing was very different to the facelift reveal video she just put out on Instagram last week from her stunning home. Interesting. I want to see that video. Um, let's see. Let's pull up her Instagram account and let's see if we can watch her facelift video. Everyone's saying that she looks like this because she had lung cancer? Is that? Oh, okay. Let's watch some of these videos. Definitely not trying to hide with that shirt on. Yeah. These comments, we have comedians in the chat. What are people saying? The facelift moved her hairline back. No shit. It moved it all the way back to the back of her head. I'm like, shit, is Rosa Parks back there at the back of that bus? What is going on? Copper says, I used to like her, but in her early years, then she got so annoying. I'm behind. Oh, you're on Diddy. Somewhere between Twilight and Saw. Aw. It's a startling photo. I agree. It is a very startling photo. Who is this? Just got here. If you don't know, how do you not know? She's wearing a shirt that says Kathy Griffin. SS says you can call her put for her poor taste in jokes, but not for how she looks. I mean, she looks kind of rough. You have to agree. But okay, so this is her social media, though. Let's see. Let's share the screen. She doesn't look as crazy in these videos. I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Slim Shady. I'm Slim Shady. Oh, no. There's her and Carrot Top right next to each other. Oh, no. Guys, that's not good. Oh, no. The facelift looks really bad. This was not Kris Jenner money. This was not a Kris Jenner facelift. This was not an Anne Hathaway facelift. I don't know who did this to her. She definitely needs the bangs. The bangs help a lot, right? In comparison to this. I think the bangs are eternally helpful. Yeah, we definitely should always have bangs, but look, it's so funny, the Carrot Top. Hi, I'm Kathy Griffin. Oh, she's doing rapid fire questions. I don't love the facelift on her. It doesn't really. Okay, it looks a little better here. It looks like it's settled a bit. Okay. Okay. When it's settling, oh my God, people are so mean with their. Why are people posting these mean gifs on her stuff? Oh my God, with the forehead. Oh no, they're saying she looks like It the Clown. Oh God, now I feel bad. Oh man. Oh, she got an offer from The View. She looks good here. This lighting and this. Yeah, she looks good in this shot. And nobody posted mean gifs of her in these comments. Okay. Why? Why did she do this again? Oh my God, the faux face up. It doesn't look the best. So creepy. Think your face is going to have to settle. I know. See, she knows how to wear makeup. Listen, makeup goes a long way, guys. Makeup can go a long way. Look what you started. I know. Everyone keeps talking about her having cancer. I don't think she has. Okay, let's go. Does Kathy Griffin have cancer? Just because you have cancer doesn't mean you got to look ugly. Kathy Griffin was diagnosed with stage 1 cancer, lung cancer, not throat cancer. Did they say lung cancer? Stage 1 lung cancer in August 2021. She underwent surgery to remove half of her left lung and was declared cancer-free in December 2021. So she only had cancer for August, September, October, November, December, for less than 6 months. She survived. It was stage 1, so it wasn't that aggressive. Chemo sucks. No, she didn't even have chemo. They literally went and they cut it out. She did have, yeah, we just determined she had cancer it was lung cancer, not throat cancer. Everyone's saying she had throat cancer. She did not have throat cancer. She had lung cancer, stage 1, which is the least aggressive cancer, the absolute least aggressive cancer. Stage 4 is the concerning cancer. That's the life-threatening cancer, stage 4. She was in stage 1. She was diagnosed in August. She had it cut out of her in December. She's cancer-free. There we go. And to celebrate, she got a facelift. Isaac, Joan and Kathy were very close friends, and she just had a facelift recently. She's very open about it. Yeah, we just learned that. They were friends, but I think Melissa had some issues with Kathy after Joan passed away, and Kathy shit on Fashion Police. She has a podcast. It's funny. She was really sick for a while. A couple of years ago, she had throat surgery. Yes, she did have throat surgery. I remember in her, it was hard for her to talk. It wasn't throat surgery, it was lung surgery. Okay, let's Google this. Did Kathy Griffin have throat surgery? Oh, in June 2023, it was revealed that Kathy Griffin had successfully undergone vocal cord surgery for the first time following her battle with lung cancer. The vocal cord surgery, Griffin said, was part of her recovery post lung cancer. Got it. So she was cancer free as of 2021, December 2021. She was cancer free. She was diagnosed with lung cancer in August. By December, it was gone. She had post op surgery on her vocal cords. Got it. So she did have throat surgery and she did have lung cancer. Stage 0 cancer is no cancer. Well, obviously, I have stage 0. Yeah, so there we go. That's Kathy Griffin for you. Run the World says there's nothing wrong with a facelift. No, as long as it's a good one. So she's had lots of surgery. Tracy said, so she's had lots of surgery. Got it. Yes, she has. Kathy was my first venture into I used to love Kathy Griffin. I really did love Kathy Griffin. She was so funny. I bought her book. I used to watch her stand up all the time. Lately, she's ever since the head thing, remember when she chopped off the head and did that photo shoot and then was, like, canceled? Ever since then, I have never really been able to kind of get back into Kathy Griffin, but good for her. You gotta spend lots of money for a good facelift. I know that's right. Run the World out here is about to go and get a Groupon facelift, and she's like, "I wanna look like Kathy Griffin." Ba-dum-bum, psh. All right, I think that's all I have for you guys. Sorry, it went a little later than I was expecting. We got a little rambly, but thank you guys. I love you. Be sure to get your tickets to the Zactivated tour. I'm going on a live podcast tour with many of your favorite content creators who also happen to be my friends. Donna Bowling, Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet, Lethal Lauren, Colonel Kurtz, Chef Stew. Yeah, it's gonna be the Sidley twins. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Spill Sesh is gonna be in Los Angeles. The Brav Bros. It's gonna be a good time. So get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. That's nofilterlive.com. I'm coming to Dallas July 11th, Phoenix July 13th, Philly July 23rd, Chicago July 27th. August 3rd, I'm going to be in New York City. August 8th, I'm going to be in Seattle. And August 10th, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. So, yes, get your tickets now at nofilterlive.com. Also, if you guys haven't done so, you can always get merch in the merch shop, nofiltermerch.com. If you want to stock up, I'll pull up the website. That way you can see it there and you can see that we still got lots of good, because a lot of people are seeing me wear some of the merch designs and they're like, where did you get that? Where did you get the Never With Teeth shirt? And I'm like, in my merch shop. We have Never With T-shirts, Zach Peters, my lawyer shirts. Do I look like I just fell out of a coconut tree t-shirts? Justice for Justin. And then we have all the classics, the Zach Pack hoodie, the Zach Pack t-shirt, the Zactivated tank top. All the goodies are in my goodies, my goodies, not my goodies. So you can get that at nofiltermerch.com. Stock up on merch. All the links are in the description below. In the description below. Layered Vision says your poster doesn't even look like you. Well, it was a photo of me from like 2 years ago. I mean, it does still look like me. It's just the facial hair changes a lot. A lot happens. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you tomorrow, Friday. Friday. Get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. All right, guys. Ciao for now. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.